What's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's number one urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, who's off screen right now. He'll pop in just a minute. As soon as I see that he's ready, I'll pop him in, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. But we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Great day. It's it's Tuesday. Got a lot of topics. Got a couple of things. Couple of college. A high school, not high school. Couple stuff that happened in high school. We got stuff. Just stuff all over the place. And but I want to start the show. First of all, I want to thank our starting five. This is the starting first five people who always sign in the beginning of the show, and they pop up on my screen, and they are as follows: Todd Holmes, Kim Jackson, Tyandra Holmes, Derek Johnson, Rod Wells, and the sixth man of the day is Jeremy Davis. Shout out to everybody. Let me get Jim in the screen. Oh yeah, there he is. He in the screen now. Jimmy, what's going on? Jimmy, I got a couple of things I want to share with y'all in the beginning. When the NFL schedule came out, Jimmy, I'll never forget, and I know you talked about it earlier, but there was no more anticipated game than the Week 3 matchup of Monday Night Football between the two brightest stars in football, right? The hype was there, but by halftime, Jimmy, it kind of started to dissipate on me. It was all Chiefs. It's like walking. You know what? I was watching that Chief offense, Jimmy, and I was thinking about some of the rich people house I go over. Like like my man said this morning, some of the rich people go. You go to their house, Jimmy. Then they said, "Let's ride." And get what they do, Jimmy. They said, "What you want to ride? You want to ride in the Maybach today? You want to ride in the Bugatti? Do you want to ride in the you want to ride in the Ferrari?" The people like that, right? That's what Patrick Mahomes has at his disposal, Jimmy. Jimmy, he just can do. I'm just watching him, Jimmy. He got so many tools, and Polo and everybody gonna say, Lamar Jackson, dude, he was up against a juggernaut, man, and nothing against Lamar, because I saw at least 7 drop passes that hit them guys in the hand. So, but last night, that Monday Night Football game, it didn't have no significance in me and Jimmy's thing, because guess what? Jimmy got beat so bad this weekend, we didn't have to use it, So, but Jimmy, and something else before I shoot to you, I saw a tweet this morning, and I want to know, boom, boom, room. Y'all help me, and please tell me this ain't true, boom, boom. I need y'all today. I don't need y'all all the time, but some of these days I need y'all. I saw a tweet. The young man said, when somebody find out it's you behind the success, they stop supporting. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that. Hey, Mindy, my day's been made. Mindy Collins on the show. But check this out, Jimmy. Check this out, Jimmy. You got to hear me on this. Cause no, stop writing, Jimmy. Stop clicking. I want you to hear me on this. I said, when some people find out it's you behind the success, they stop supporting it. Jimmy, I know that should grab right out at you right now. That should go. It should be choking the chop shop around the neck right now. I got to repeat it one more time, Jason Peters. John Lucas coming, Jason Peters. Slow down, man. Let us do our show, man. Jason, when some people find out it's you behind the success, they stop supporting it. Jimmy, I thought about that all today. Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Jeffrey Day. Jimmy, you don't have to go there, but throughout the show and throughout from the rest of our mission, I want to find out, why is it that when people find out Jeffrey Day behind it, or little Rick behind it, they stop supporting it. Jimmy, I'll never forget a young lady who used to own a beauty shop in Memphis. She had a nice car, but Jimmy, she drove her raggedy car and parked it where she worked. And I wondered why. She said, Robert, if these girls saw me pull up in this car, they stop coming to get their hair done. They slow it down. And I said, wow. I just want to know, it is just us or my white people out there, my white folks out. Tell me, do y'all do that, or it's just us? I'm just curious about it, Jimmy. When I saw that tweet this morning, what you think about it, Jimmy? I mean, have you ever experienced something like that, or do you do that? See, that's the thing we need to ask. I know it happened to me, but I know I've always supported people, especially when I find out who it is. I support them more. So, what do you think about that, Jim?
I mean, that's what's going on. Chop shop. Let's get this thing popping on this Tuesday. We don't have a name for Tuesday, but it's gonna be popping today. I mean, of course, that topic is is hard to digest for many, but it's true, and for most. I just say it's true for many, and it's hard to digest for the other side of the many, and that's why a lot of people, a lot of times, uh, they will hide, conceal their identity with when to to discreet their I guess their efforts for a lot of different things. So a lot of people will do that, and then a lot of people, once they find out that you're behind it, then they will automatically start making excuses. Man, I don't want to go support that. Oh man, it ain't gonna be nothing but this, but it ain't gonna be nothing. But then and it's kind of like one of those things. It's like say, I know it's easier to go and wait on this and apply it to basketball or event operators or event directors.
No.
Let's go to your favorite restaurant. Let's think about the restaurant that you love versus a restaurant that you don't care for at all. Right? And a few years ago, there was a popular chef at one restaurant. And this chef, the people used to love this restaurant.
Ooh,
and they would go to this restaurant, and it was in Houston, Texas, and they would go to it like it was, and I'm talking about the line would be backed up on certain days, certain nights. You couldn't even get a table. If you got a table on a Friday or Saturday, you had to have some clout or some pull. So finally, that chef took it upon his own to start. I mean, which we probably learned it from, that's probably the right thing for chefs to do. I'm not in the
chef, that's what chefs usually do, Jim.
Yeah, he come from the back and he would make a stroll through the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Then some people would go and they would know him. They would say hi to him. He would come up to tables and check on some of the stuff. He might have add an extra little season to it. Hey, everything all right? And so next thing you know, you're wondering, who's that guy? That's the chef. That's the chef. He the chef? Didn't look the part. He didn't have the Italian accent.
You going there with it. I don't think it's like that, but hey, you can go there if you want to.
I understand. He liked the Italian accent. He didn't have an Italian accent. He looked more like Bubba than Bellini. You follow me? Yeah. So he decides to go and open up his own restaurant. And we're thinking that if everybody had some of the more popular dishes from that previous restaurant, he transformed over to his own restaurant. And it was more centralized. The same people didn't follow him, didn't come to his restaurant no more. They loved him when the restaurant, it was somebody else's restaurant. Didn't come and support him in his own efforts. You can go and draw it up and twist it up all you want to. That's part of life. When people find out it's you, I'm not going to give him all my money. They'd rather give the money to people that you really can't see. You can't see. That was one of the things I noticed. Now, bring it back to basketball. I promise you, I used to always bring up the fact that a lot of events that Hal Pastner used to do after a certain time, a lot of times you didn't see Hal Pastner unless you went to Vegas. You didn't hardly see him at the events, at the regional events. And don't mean he wasn't. I'm talking about like you didn't like you used to back in the days. You was, and then I thought about it. Hal knew, and he applied that. He put everybody else around. You see everything else, and see all it, but you didn't see Hal Pass at the event. And people kept coming and coming and coming to Vegas. He would come out on Sunday after you'd already bought your weekend pass. You'd already bought your weekend pass then. Hal come out on Sunday then. Or you come out when Chris Paul them show up and play that little the Jordan brand initiative that they inserted into one of his events. But not the pile on Hal, but then that was a business move. You know, a lot of people. Why are we like that?
No, but Jimmy, I got want to interject something here. By the way, thank you, Rod Wells, Jimmy. He helped me out. He helped me bust you up yesterday on the picks, and he found out it was a discrepancy in the picks because you tried to cheat me. And he got my shirt, my hat to me. And look, thank you, Rod Wells. Check you. I don't like to wear a hat because I don't like to mess up my nice hair. But for Rod Wells, I'm gonna wear it a little bit, but it's irritating. I don't like hats. But Jimmy, Darryl Barnes said something key. He said, I know people, I'm finna bring it to summer basketball. Since you forget event operators, we're not gonna make it personal. Because I know it has happened in my life. I know people that, hold up, Darryl Barnes said, I know people that will stop supporting, especially when they find out who the kid's circle of influence is. They'll stop supporting the kid because of the circle influence is. Darryl Barnes, I know that to be absolutely correct. Darryl Barnes, thank you for that. Let me put that one on the screen. I'm going to put that one on the screen. We find out who if somebody you don't like this player, you talk negative against the player. Wow, Jimmy. Wow. How much is that? Think about that. You even told me, Jimmy, because I asked you a question. What is the vitriol against the kid I like? That at U of H. The kid, the Woodlands in Kansas. Okay.
Oh, Quentin Grimes.
Quentin Grimes. I said, why people don't like this kid? I like him. Some of them didn't like his circle. Some people didn't like Rossi. Some people didn't like Teddy. Some people didn't like BU. Some people that you stop supporting the kid because you don't like the grown-ups. Unbelievable. And I understand haters gonna hate. I ain't talking about haters gonna hate. Some haters excuse me, Kim. There's some haters right here on his feed right now. There's some haters watch this show every day. Kim, we know haters gonna hate. My question is, in the beginning, if you was in the beginning of the show, it's just, why? Just don't say, ain't it easy just not to say nothing? It costs the same. Jimmy, a bad attitude and a good attitude costs the same. A bad outlook, it costs the same. You don't get no more for being a butthole. Excuse me. See, y'all almost made me curse. But Jimmy, I promise you, I saw that this morning. Rod Webb, I'll put it back on a little bit later. I just don't like hats on my head. And I don't know if it's jealousy all the time. Jimmy, what you think? I don't know if it's jealousy all the time.
For people who just tuned in, explain to them what's the question, the topic.
Okay. Here you go. People who just joined in. A young man, I give it. He put it on Twitter. Coach Fob in Dallas. Okay, a black entrepreneur that has a business that have great products. I've seen them and I've had people buy them. Guess what? He said, when some people find out it's you behind the success, they stop supporting it, Angel. And I don't think that's about hate. See, I don't want to get on the hating part. Why you just stop supporting them? You can hate me and still support me. Let me repeat that. Jimmy, one of my favorite things, Jimmy, I remember thinking, man, I ain't watching your show, man, I ain't watching that. And I know niggas, man, I ain't watching that show. I had on that. Dude, this ain't about me and Jimmy. I keep trying to tell y'all. At some point, I want somebody else to take this seat from me. I want to do it so well, a young man come and said, Mr. Adam, come on, man. Mr. Hicks, come on, man. We've been off. Ain't nobody hit my email on this. Jimmy, I threw out a gauntlet yesterday. I said, if you're having something, email me and let me know. I still ain't got an email yet. And I love when you used to say, man, my output ain't gonna be better than your input. Come on, man. Y'all. So I'm just sitting here saying, we got business around here, man. Why you think I talk about the Cox Brady law firm? It's a good idea. Why you think? I believe in them brothers. I know they work. I've seen their work. It's other people has asked me to get on here, but me and Jimmy rather deal with these guys. We know where their money going. So it's just unique, man. And the question again, Jimmy, if somebody just popped on and just hear me ranting and just hear me going on, the question was at the beginning of the day, when some people find out it's you behind the success, if Jimmy behind the success, they stop supporting it. If I'm behind the success, they stop supporting. Jimmy, that's why when I gave events and when I gave the concerts and stuff, I ain't never put Hatter Productions on it. You know why? Man, I ain't getting any. I ain't getting. So it's just unique, man. And I just thought I'd bring it up and let's talk about it. It's something to talk about, and we can move on, Jimmy, if you want to. Yeah, it's Keith Fobbs Street. I said Coach Fobb in Dallas. Keith, yeah, but I thought it was a unique tweet. It was so unique. I started to show off with it. So, Jimmy, you can take it from here. I got to charge my phone.
I mean, it's they take out some, of course, the comments and the comments in Boom Boom, which are always key.
Oh, yeah.
And B. Scott says some customers really like connecting with the individual owner and feeling like they have a hookup. Some customers are the opposite and want to feel that all customers are treated equal. Just depends. And you know,
Jimmy, that wasn't part of the question.
Keep them going.
Jimmy, that didn't have nothing to do with the question, though, B. Scott. That didn't have nothing to do with the question.
We talked about a lot of we went through a different kaleidoscope of things within the topic. And Tony says the reason is people think you're making too much money. Instead of them supporting you and congratulating you in your success, they hate on your success. People don't see the fact that some people work for what they want. And, you know, Shinquetta says, I know black business owners with white avatars to get business because blacks wasn't supporting their business. And that is another piece of truth. And that is a lot of people have gone out of their way, black businesses, to put like whites in their advertisements and their marketing. And then you realize, and you probably haven't even noticed it, but if you pay attention, a lot of businesses will market, and that's strategically done for some, because in certain locations, if they make it too black, put it like this: if you open up a new establishment in the middle of River Oaks, then if you are taking a risk, a marketing risk, if your billboard outside the door is deemed to be too urban, even though no matter what your roots may be, if it's deemed to be too urban, then you're already probably closing the door on a certain a group of potential customers or consumers. And that's, it's I'm loving the comments. Keep the comments coming. And
Yeah,
Aziz says, I tell people the same thing dealing with these corporations you work for also. I mean, just keep them. I mean,
Jimmy,
this is something. Just
Jimmy,
pay attention. So how do you? And
Jimmy,
of course,
I know
go
people
on.
do it, but my thing is, I hope none of the people who on this show or on this feed, I hope we have enough influence that we don't find ourselves doing it. That's the key thing that I want, because I can't save the world. I think Jimmy always said that, I think I'm trying to save the world. No, just in my sphere of influence, if all of us just understand it, we just would be a lot better. And that's the reason I brought it up. Because I remember, man, I ain't watching this. Man, I ain't gonna watch. You don't want to. And Jimmy, I took me and you out the equation. I said, this platform is important to your people, sir. The platform. It ain't got about me and Jimmy. Then I went back and guess what I did? I read him some of the email and some of the texts I be getting from parents who this show has helped change their lives. And these guys are still, I ain't gonna, man, you don't have to like me. No, I ain't doing this show to be liked. I'm doing this show to be impactful. That's all I'm doing. Impactful. Yes, I'm going to be daring. Yes, I'm going to do it with vim, vigor, and vitality. That's me. That's my life. Same way I'm on this show, that's how I am in life. So I just, I just thank you, Keith Fobb, for just giving us. And I just want people to just think about, are you doing it? If you're doing it, you need to stop. That's all. That's all. Especially, see, when you're a black business owner, man, do y'all really know how hard it is? Ask them guys out there. Ask them guys how hard it is to get a loan from these same banks that was bailed out by the same taxes that you pay. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And let's read some more of the comments from the Boom Boom Room.
Okay.
Of course, over Wesley Yates said, I said it the other day, everybody wants to see you do good, just not better than them is the attitude of a lot of people. Just like in sports, your son can't do better than little so-and-so. And I mean, and Chuck
that
say,
might be it. That's petty.
Chuck say
that's
it's
petty.
power.
That's petty, but that's it.
Chuck says it's power in the numbers. If we come together, support and help each other, we move ahead. I mean, that's we know that's too true, but then that's one of the things like, it's easier said than done. And remember, I'm gonna take you guys back on the Chop Shop. For a lot of you old school Chop Shop and members of the Boom Boom Room, you guys remember we attempted, and just about 2 weeks ago, I tried to made an attempt to reignite the habit that a lot of people, remember this, we used to go back, we would invite all of you guys in the Boom Boom Room who were small business owners or managers to put your info in the Boom Boom Room up on entry of the show. Remember, we used to ask you guys to do that, and some people did. Some people feel like, and that's what happened. Just because you did it and you're a plumber doesn't mean that everybody on the Boom Room is going to have a leaky faucet or toilet overflowing today. They're not necessarily going to be enthused, engulfed to call you today. But if you put it out there, people see it over and over, then guess what happens? Sooner or later, if you're a shade tree mechanic and you live on a certain side of town, you don't know who's watching. Put your business Walter Yates, I see you used to did it for your T-shirts a couple of times ago. Far, you did it for your shirts a couple. The thing is, a lot of people, which is good for sales, a lot of people order those jerseys and the throwbacks that Favre brothers
Yes.
are in,
It,
and they don't promote and ever let a lot of people know this is our company. Why? Because they feel a lot of people probably won't even order shirts and business from them. But at the same time, speaking of order my jersey, I hadn't got it yet. That was 3 weeks ago, so we'll talk about that later on. Mind you, I ordered mine now.
we don't need
Don't
that
get it
today,
twisted
Jim.
now.
Come on.
But you
But
know, but
I
at the
got something
same
else
time,
though.
on the
Yeah.
flip side, we see that's what Walt is. I have too many haters. Understand something, Walt. Everybody on this feed don't read your aren't there every day when you are
Yeah.
being or maybe antagonizing some people. They don't know you then. That's why I say you put it on at the top of the show. When you first come in, your first comment should be support this.
Yes.
If you need this, here's
Yes.
the address. Here.
Yeah.
If you need that, here's go. That way now they got it at the top of the show. And somebody be like, oh man, let me write that down. This listen, what does it hurt? Hell, it's free advertising. You can come and do like Cox Prater Law Firm, or you can come and do like Dramatize,
Yeah.
or you can come and do like Brian Jolivet, and several other advertisers, and those are paid advertisements you see scrolling at the bottom. Now at the same time, they're not nowhere near as high as you would pay anywhere else because
Nowhere
this is
else.
a platform.
Platform.
This show has reach. It doesn't have the most reach in the world. Guess what? We're growing. If we're not going backwards.
No, sir.
We're growing.
Yes, sir.
And it may not be at a pace but at the same time, input equals output. You know why?
And Jimmy,
We understand why the growth.
Jimmy, and
Hold
also,
on, let me
my dad,
get real.
we have people that spend, and people that follow this show, they spend. If they see it, they'll support it and spend. That's the key. I don't care how much the reach. Our people are people of action. That's what I wanted people to know. But keep going, because I got another thing. Somebody else tweeted this morning. It's another tweet. This is my second tweet. It said, disrespect in summer and high school basketball is ridiculous. We are always talking about working together and supporting each other, but some continue to make decisions that show they are simply selfish and all talk. Be careful. Stacey Houston wrote that this morning. Think about these two different guys.
Say it again. Say it again.
Okay, let's go one more time. The disrespect, check this out now. The disrespect in summer and high school basketball is ridiculous. We are always talking about working together and supporting each other, just like we're doing on this show right now. But some people continue to make decisions that show they are simply selfish and are all talk. So we have some people, from what I get, who's saying they supporting people, who's saying they doing this, but they're not. They're just all talk. That's a whole nother. Stacey, Stacey, the one thing we can't do, we can't legislate the heart and the mind. You know, you just can't. People can tell you, I'm voting, and go in there vote for whoever they want to. We can't legislate people's heart. You know, the only person that can legislate the person's heart is that person. So my thing is, let's take a look at these things, y'all. And if you doing it, I know it's hard for you to stop because it's kind of sick to me. But yeah, if y'all know anything about me, if you've been on this show, if you in my community, I'm gonna support you. If you're wrong, I'm gonna talk to you first before I bring it out. We had a situation where a dude was talking about some people in our community, and I came and all I did was say, hey, player, don't do your own people like that. I could have blasted the guy. I could have did this. I could have did. No, y'all, dude, we got an election to win, man. When I tell you how important it is a little later, we got at some point, we got to galvanize. If we can't even get on. I can't get on a show and just request that people, check this out, Jim. People so sensitive. I can't get on the show and just say, hey man, if you want me to talk about something that's happening, inform me about it. We got folks get sensitive about that. Sit y'all sensitive ass down somewhere and get out the way. I told y'all a long time ago, some of these people in summer basketball need to get their ass out the way. They in the way. Because the people are confused. We're giving them so much stupid ass information. I'm talking to the parents, they confused. Because all of these clowns out here telling them everything. Well, you know, and ain't done nothing. The first thing I would, if I was a parent, hey man, parents, listen to me. To know a man, look at his history. Don't tell me this dude can fly a plane and you know he ain't never flew no damn plane before. He can tell you he can fly a plane. If you haven't been in this industry and you haven't done, that's why if y'all always notice, if it's high school basketball, I always defer to who? The experts. Always refer to them. I might have my opinion on it, yes. Because I've had experience in high school basketball. But these guys do it every day. I'm not listening to every damn thing they say now. I don't listen to nothing, no, everything, no, even if my pastor say. I go look it up for myself also. But y'all know who y'all are too. Y'all get out the way, man. Y'all just get y'all ass out the way. Because these parents trying to get their kids in school. These parents, and thank you y'all who I posted some about my son yesterday. It was Son Day yesterday. And thanks to people who acknowledge that. Y'all, all I'm trying to do, this thing, parents, listen to me. This summer basketball and high school basketball can be an enjoyable experience. It ain't gonna always go your way. Everybody ain't gonna like your son. Somebody gonna talk negative about your son. I've told a story, Jimmy. I'm sitting right next to the dudes reading your magazine talking about my son shouldn't be ranked right here. I didn't get mad at the dudes. I just told them. Get what I told. See, only thing you got control of, you ain't got control of Jimmy, parents. You ain't got control of Doug. You ain't got control of Jeffrey Day. You ain't got control of Stacey Houston. You don't control these guys. Arnie, you don't control none of these guys. The only thing you control, parents, listen to this, the way you react to what these guys do. It's the only thing you can control. So control the controllables. Control yourself and control your kid. That's what I say to the parents today. I don't know how we got there, but Jimmy, somebody needed to hear that. Somebody needed to hear that. Control the controllables. What else you got, Jim?
Well, we go to a quick break and let that soak in for a lot of people regarding the topic and keep the conversation going. And meanwhile, you can share the show right now to your timelines, to your friends. We go to a quick break. We're coming back and talk more sports. Don't forget, at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by Coach John Lucas, and that is NBA basketball coach, that is John Lucas, will join us in case some of you guys want to know a lot of things that are happening and has happened in recent hours and days around the NBA. He will be here to address that, along with a conversation about grassroots as well. We will take that and extend and probably reignite this conversation when John joins us. Meanwhile, you guys hang right there on the Chop Shop. Be right back.
Reverend Martin Luther King preaches a doctrine of nonviolent insistence upon the rights of the American Negro. What is your attitude toward this philosophy?
The white man pays Reverend Martin Luther King, subsidizes Reverend Martin Luther King, so that Reverend Martin Luther King can continue to teach the Negroes to be defenseless. That's what you mean by nonviolent. Be defenseless. Be defenseless in the face of one of the most cruel beasts that has ever taken the people into captivity. That's this American white man. And they have proved it throughout the country by the police dogs and the police clubs. 100 years ago, they used to put on a white sheet and use a bloodhound against Negroes. Today, they have taken off the white sheet and put on police uniforms. They've traded in the bloodhounds for police dogs, and they're still doing the same thing. And just as Uncle Tom, back during slavery, used to keep the Negroes from resisting the bloodhound or resisting the Ku Klux Klan by teaching them to love their enemy or pray for those who use them despitefully. Today, Martin Luther King is just a 20th century or modern Uncle Tom or a religious Uncle Tom who is doing the same thing today to keep Negroes defenseless in the face of attack that Uncle Tom did on the plantation to keep those Negroes defenseless in the face of the attacks of the Klan in that day.
Just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Adder, along with Jim, the Cheat Sheet Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. Those messages almost 60 years ago rang true to the day. That man was a prophet, and I love it. I love it. And I'm glad Jimmy, I didn't even have that queued up for the day, but I didn't know we was going to talk about this. Thank you, Keith Farr. And I also thank you, Stacey Houston, for those topics. And guess what, Jimmy? And I learned, a lot of people tell me, well, we shouldn't talk about this. Let me tell y'all something. Nothing will ever be cured, or nothing would ever be, a problem will never be solved if you don't tell the doctor. You can't go to the doctor and say, doctor, just cure me. He gonna ask you what the hell's wrong with you, Jimmy. So then y'all got to talk. So it's okay to talk about these topics. It's okay to me to talk about race. It's okay to me because guess what? If you don't talk about it, how you gonna know how the other guy feeling? There's some guys out here know right now said, man, you know what? I have done that stuff that Keith Farr said. Man, I have done that stuff that Stacey Houston said. And guess what? All we trying to get you to do is be better. Because guess what? If you doing it, your son might do it. And if your son doing it, his son might do it. So guess what? Generational curse after a generation, curse after curse. So all I'm saying, man, we just got to, when you know better, you do better. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to talk about it. Some people, oh, Robert, no. God gave me a platform for a reason. I'm not afraid to talk about it. So, Jimmy, where you want to go for here? Because I know we got a guest coming up.
Yeah, we got at the top of the hour, because coming up shortly, guys, next segment will be, we're expecting to be joined by head coach John Lucas, NBA coach John Lucas, and he will talk about a variety of topics with us. First, I want to remind you guys also at the top of the hour, if you're near a television screen, the Houston Rockets will open the 2020 in Major League Baseball playoffs on the road at Minnesota against the Twins in one of
Houston Astros?
2 out of Astros play. Yeah, they come on at 1 Central Time on the ABC network. Believe it or not, that's rare for baseball games for this time of the year. But once again, that's a 1 p.m. tip. And also on ESPN at 2 o'clock is the White Sox at the Oakland A's. Now, those are 4 teams are on the same side of the bracket in the American League, and which Oakland seems to kind of like have our number. So I really would rather Chicago knock off Oakland and Houston beat Minnesota. And I like our chances against the White Sox, even though the White Sox, remember now, you asked that question about that White Sox earlier this season, about a month ago. How do you say, what the hell is going on with the White Sox? How are they so tough? And I mentioned you that 8 of their starters were players who hail from the Dominican or those what used to be tagged as third world countries, or third world islands or whatnot. So once again, on the other side of the American League bracket, Toronto is at Tampa Bay. That game is at 4 p.m. today, Central Time, followed by the evening cap, which is going to be very intriguing. The Yankees at Cleveland. Remember, the Yankees at Cleveland.
And that picture
remember,
you've been bragging about because you want them to beat the Yankees. Yes. But I got Garrett
Cole.
Cole.
Shane Bieber?
Huh?
Shane Bieber?
Yeah, baby. Yeah. You've been bragging about him, but I'm still going with Garrett Cole.
I mean, Garrett Cole. I'm not anti Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole gave us a good season, you know. And it was Verlander who choked in the playoffs last year. Garrett Cole did well. If Verlander would have lived up to, I mean, understand it happens, but he had 2 opportunities, Verlander,
dude,
and it was butter in the skillet.
He gonna always get a pass from me. You should know why Verlander gonna always get a pass to me. Look who he go home to. When you go home to supermodels and Sierras, you gonna always notice Robert Haller got an affinity for them.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
And you know what happened?
What?
You got them supermodels, you mess around and you find yourself in the funny positions, and next thing you know, your elbows ain't the same, and you got to get Tommy John surgery because your stuff been numb all night messing with them supermodels. That's what happened to Verlander.
I'm gonna leave that alone. Hey Jimmy, keep talking, but I just noticed something on the screen. Jason Rowland, he said if you need to register to vote, he's a register. And you just asked yesterday you need a register for Harris County. Jason Rowland.
Who said that?
Jason Rowland. And Jason, if you're listening, email Jimmy, give him some information to email you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Give him the information.
Now, of course, the info for the Chop Shop is the chopshophtx@gmail.com. Chopshophtx@gmail.com. And of course, Jason is once again that means he is deputized voter registrar for Harris County. So that means within Harris County. You can give him a call, 832.
No, Jimmy. I thought you was gonna use him for your event. You said you needed a.
Well, no, he got to cut hair. That's Jason the barber.
Oh, okay. So no. But he would have somebody else that can come and help.
No,
you.
he got to be one. No, he got to do it.
No, but he's not the only one that can do it. That's all I'm saying. He might know somebody else. That's all.
He's not the only one, and we put it out. Anybody else will know they want that, especially we will be in Northeast Harris County this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the Super 16 extravaganza at the gym. That's the four-court complex, which is located on 2325 Atascocita Road. We will be there Friday evening, all day Saturday until about 8 p.m. and all day Sunday until about 6 p.m. If you know someone who is deputized as a voter registrar, then have them contact the Chop Shop, and so that if they are interested in coming out, because the deadline is Monday. I have confirmed. I shared that yesterday. October the 5th is the deadline for anyone who has not registered to vote for this upcoming election. Meanwhile, in case you want to know, for students, high school students, you must be 17 years, 10 months old in order to register to vote. 17 years, 10 months. And once again, we welcome and invite people to get involved in such fashion. Thanks a bunch, Jason. Shout out to Current Cuts over there on Tidwell and 59. And Jason he's the barber of a lot of the celebrities around Houston and the sporting athletes around town as well. So he's the who's who of barbers. He's definitely in that Mount Rushmore guys around H-Town. And now we're talking baseball and the American League games of the day. National League, all of their games will take place the playoffs will start on Wednesday. So Wednesday morning, actually, it would be one of the game. My team that I'm really fond of this season is the success of the Atlanta Braves. Hatter is he's staked his claim with the Dodgers. You know, he's gonna go with the champ. That's what I used to do all the time. I
No,
just
Jimmy.
love.
Jimmy, don't say Dodgers. I'm going with Mookie. Wherever Mookie's at. I like Mookie. Guess what?
What uniform do you wear?
He got the Dodgers on. Guess why I'm putting on
So
this
you
hat
don't
right
know.
now? Because of Greg Wise and Rod Wells. I like people. It's the people that I like. So don't.
Okay, but the people, but you like indirectly the people that's
Mookie.
wearing the jersey.
If
So that
Mookie
means
played for the Astros, I cheer for the Astros.
okay. So that means you going with the people, the uniform that they're wearing. Okay. So you just said you're cheering for the Astros.
No,
so
I
mean
just
you're
like
cheering for the Dodgers.
No. I just like to clarify. That's all. I like clarity. That's what Jerry Carter just said. Clarity.
Totally understand clarity. But guess what? It is what it is. You're rooting for the Dodgers. Just like you said. So Mookie wearing the Dodger uniform. No matter what, if you put ice in it, you put it in the microwave, it's still the same.
I also like Osuna. I also like Osuna.
Osuna, that's a closing pitch. You talking about
Osuna. I mean, what is his name? Acuna. Yes, Acuna. Yeah.
I don't think you like Atlanta right now. Don't like Atlanta right now.
I said I like the player.
When he's not in uniform, you like him when he
No,
wears
I
shirts.
like him. Man, he hit a 400-some yard a home run the other day. He little young, little 20-some-year-old kid.
No, you're right. What it was 486.
Come on now, you think I don't know baseball? I like Tatis for San Diego, dude. I like players. I'm not like you. I ain't no. I just like certain players. I like something about them. I like. No, I don't. I'm not Osuna. I mean Acuna. What's the boy's name? Acuna. Down in
It's Acuna.
Yes, Acuna. Yes.
Yeah.
I messed the C's up. Yeah, we do that on this show every now and then. Acuna Jr. We do that every time now and then, Olga, and I'm sure you do too at your job. But keep going, Jimmy.
And what,
we just can't
what,
see you at your job. Now, what you say about Atlanta?
What I was going to say. I mean, Herb talking to you, Allie.
Man, I'm not.
That's all
I'm
you
not,
dressing to say.
dude, I'm not with that foolishness.
He said,
right
why
now.
didn't Bryce Griggs play with Hightower this past weekend?
And I told him to call his mama.
That's a question.
Call his mama. I got the number. I'll give it to you off air and call her. Now, what's the next one, Jimmy? Anything important?
Yeah. And so, of course, his high school coach Stephen Woods is blind as time in on that. So now, of course, we are almost at the break. We got a minute to go. We talked a little baseball. Also, and as far as current events, we didn't dive deep into it early top of the show, but you touched on it, and that was the statement that was made by Patrick Mahomes last night. And during the game, they're going to show you something. During the game, when there was a moment that Patrick Mahomes made a play, two things happened one, his mom sent out a social media comment basically letting them know my baby name is Patrick. Yeah. Don't call him Pat. And then Patrick Mahomes in the post-game press conference, he clarified, they asked him about that, and he said, yes, they call my dad Pat, call me Patrick.
Hey, Mama,
and they gonna
Mama, see, that's a PGW. That's a case of a mama, set your ass down somewhere. No,
Understand something. Hal. No, that's not true. That's not
Jim, excuse me.
Let me tell you why
kind of different from the way I think.
No. I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong on that. His name is Patrick. So it's different. That's why you're wrong on that. His name is Patrick.
Your name is Jimmy. Some people call you Jim.
You're addressing her son with your own nickname. He's never told you call me Pat. Though they're calling him Pat.
Guess what? I am not wrong. Excuse me, sir.
On the live
excuse me. That's your opinion. I still think it's okay to call. It's your opinion, and it's okay. And even he made light of it. He said, if that's my mom, that man, I've heard him on interviews and people have called him Pat and he never corrected him. I'm talking about the mama. Let him correct it.
Yeah, but my
I said, mama, set your ass
mom
down.
reserves every right. That means now she's fed up with it. Sometimes you deal with it in certain facets. So obviously the guy who said, one guy who the mom didn't like.
Pat is short for Patrick. Pat is short for Patrick. Excuse me. Hold on. Jim is short for Jimmy.
Let me tell you.
It's Jimmy.
Understand something. Two things. Number one, you wouldn't dare call me Jim when I was back in my old days on the street. I put the pistols down somebody calling me Jim. I never went by a name Jim. Jim was a way that I started calling myself so that white folk in this business would accept the Jim more than Jimmy. If you people that knew Jimmy Hicks knew the guy from the streets. So I did Jim. So now, meanwhile, there were people back when I was Jimmy that would call my ass James. I'm going upside the head back in the street.
Guess what?
My name ain't
I
James.
don't care what you call me, Jimmy. Jimmy, it ain't about what you call me. It's what I answer to. You can call me Rob. You can call me Bob.
My name ain't James, and you call because a lot of Jimmys had our real names are James. Now I didn't know that. I knew that coming up at one point. I didn't know that. But a lot of Jimmys, once again, a lot of Jimmys, their birth certificate name that was given to them, a lot of them are James. I'm not a James. And so a lot of times people would go and they would call me, I've had people call me James just out of assumption, and I have to correct them. Now, in which what they would respect, but at the same time, the person don't respect it and keep saying James. If you ask them, man, don't call me James, call me Jimmy. That's my name. Then that mean they do it on
disagree.
purpose.
It's okay. You can explain it all you want to. I just disagree. I just disagree. And if she feel that bad, because the kid made light of it. The kid made light of it.
But then last night that kid co-signed also.
No, he did not go. If that's my mom.
He said, if mom wants to call me Patrick, then my name is Patrick. Then my dad is Pat. So that means from now on, that means
hold up. Now, that's glad you said that. That's a damn problem, because he ain't with her no more. He don't want y'all calling in him. That's the damn problem right there. That's the point I was trying to get you. Thank you for bringing it up. Mom and dad ain't together no more. Ain't been together for 100 years. So guess what? That's why she don't want y'all calling him Pat. How about that? See you tomorrow.
But that's whatever the reason is, that means it's valid. But anyway, we gotta run to a quick break. Coming right back, top of the hour, guys. We know we got a special guest going to be joining us, and that is, of course, Coach John Lucas. You guys hang right there, share the show. We're right back on the Chop Shop.
Man, I didn't have no commercial hooked up. Give me a second.
Shit.
Yeah, you need to talk to the producer first. Keep on talking. Hold on. I got one.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And as Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to respect our women and to protect our women. And the only time a Muslim really gets real violent is when someone goes to molest his woman. We will kill you for our woman. I'm making it plain, yes. We will kill you for our woman. We believe that if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.
But being friendly and being a friend, I think, are two different things. I think there are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly, and therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
And I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. Their appetite is the same. Their motives are the same. It's only their mannerisms and methods that differ. Now, whenever it takes a stoppage of something that's going to affect the white man, you find the white liberal absent. But when it involves something that primarily will affect the best interests of black people, and black people only, then that white liberal is present. I'm suspicious of whites who join Negroes and always have to be in the lead, who always have to be the head, who always have to be at the top in Negro organizations. Those whites who really have the interest of blacks at heart, let them give some advice to some Negroes and stand on the sideline. But don't join the organization and then get at the head of it and pose as a friend of Negroes.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. Jimmy, I could have clicked you off. I was about to click you off. Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day, the Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks. Jimmy going doing some, Jimmy, you got your mute on. Oh, that's my dude that popped up now. My dude that popped up.
Yeah,
I'm good.
We're getting ready to QR from out of the dressing room.
Yeah, he done popped up on y'all. Hey, so Jimmy.
Of course, we got news. Hold on, you had froze on me. But
Okay.
anyway,
Jimmy, we got to update that internet over there. You freezing up on me and John. John, our guest he's man, you always eating when you come on the show. But come on, Jimmy. Come on. Jimmy, what you got? Oh, Jimmy, you just popped out the screen. What happened to Jimmy?
I'm back. I just went out and came back in.
Oh, okay. Got it.
That's what you normally do at them tournaments. I see you always popping in and then going right out, writing the full report.
Hey, John, I haven't been able to give you a report because, hey, let's bring John on so we can talk to him. Bring him on, man. Come on, Jimmy.
All right, there we go, man. We got the legend guys, of course, with you today, living legend that is NBA coach, NBA influencer. That's a new word they done start giving folk now. Influencer. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's a new word they give people. Influencer. Everybody, likes to be, so John Lucas, and he's a founding father of the new regime of basketball on all levels, and especially coming out of Houston, but around the country. You can't tell the story of basketball coming out of Houston out of Texas without mentioning John Lucas's name. You can't mention the story of basketball, especially in grassroots in the country, without mentioning his name. And now you really think about it, if you want to tell the complete story of basketball, the fabric and the fiber, especially when you start thinking about the lottery picks and certain teams in position that would go to increase their odds of getting a particular pick. They can't tell that story without mentioning head coach John Lucas, and that's who we have with us today. Welcome. He's one of the most popular and one of the most important people in basketball, that is, and we call him the Harriet.
I'm gonna do all I can to get out there to the event this weekend, okay? I'm gonna do all I can to get out there. I'm gonna do all I can to get out there. I know. I'm gonna do all I can to get out there and see them talent. Hey, I got a couple of things to tell y'all real quick.
What you got for us?
First of all, that bubble,
yeah,
they did a great job, but that was one of the toughest 67 days of my life, because everybody thinks that thing was really good. It was really good. We didn't have any positive tests, but man, I'm gonna tell you, going to a hotel room, going to a meal room, getting on a bus, going to an empty arena, back to your room, eating at 11 o'clock at night, playing every other day, practicing in ballrooms, really was tough. And you really, and then as teams got out of the playoffs, your hotel got empty. And so it became, when we finished up losing to the Lakers, we had nobody in the hotel but us in a big old wide area with heavy security. And it was really, really tough. So you got to give the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers a lot of credit because there's a lot of mental toughness. So, you know, it's really funny. Milwaukee Bucks decided to walk out. And they walked out, and nobody knew that they had decided to walk out. So Russ and James, we were playing Oklahoma in a playoff game. So Russ and James, I said, well, if they didn't play, then y'all can't play. Because now it looks like the union and everything is disjointed because one team playing, the other teams don't. So that was really a tough deal. Then that night we had a big meeting, and teams wanted to leave. And so it was two speakers. It was Doc and myself, because they invited everybody. And I told them, I said, man, look, I played in this league when the per diem was $24 and the minimum salary is $35,000. And I've been around a long time. If you all are going to leave, you better be going to Kenosha, Michigan, Wisconsin. You better be going to Portland. You better be doing something that is going to be constructive about the cause that you all are stepping out. If you're going to leave, just go home. Because they had one thing on the test. Every day you had to get on your phone and answer these questions. You had to take your temperature, take your oxygen. You got tested twice a day. Then they had one last question, guys. Do you need to talk to a mental health professional? It was about, and I'm already recovering, I about check that box every day. Because, you know, you ain't have nobody you could talk to.
Right.
Because you just there. It's no human contact other than the people you're with, and everybody's separated. So it was a great idea. It was great to get it done, and it was great for the league. But, you know, like with the guys, they eventually decided to stay. They got more positive. But I was telling them, you're not going to change police reform.
Okay.
That's got to go through the government. That's got to go through voting. We got to be registered to vote. I would hate to tell you how many people weren't registered to vote. So you got to get your vote. You can't have a cause if you ain't out there living the cause you're trying to do. So, you know, we cleaned up a lot of that stuff, did it. I said, now, you know, it doesn't matter, but we got Black Lives Matter on the court. We got all of these expressions. We got all of that. And now we're going to leave. I mean, what more do you have to get your message out? So to stay and play continues to help get your message out. Now, you know, as it worked out, it was tough. You know, guys needing haircuts. We didn't have but one barber down there, and you could tell people look like they need to get haircuts.
Jimmy Butler.
And all the time, you know, all the guys used to tease. I used to tease them all about either braid it or fade it. Do something with that hair. So, but overall, it was a good experience. We did good. We had a mishap that really hurt us a little bit with Daniel House.
Yeah.
And
can you talk
really
about that? How far can you talk about that? Could you talk about that? Because there's some people want to know.
We really missed House. Everything was on an armband. They could tell wherever you moved, whatever you did. It was like you were, you know, you were a prisoner in there. It wasn't bad, but they could tell everything you did. And so, you know, I don't really care to get into any of that.
Okay.
We missed him, and then they decided that because of, and here's the issue, that if you couldn't test anybody, and this is from the league side of it.
Okay.
How can I let him play or anybody play who may have been in contact with somebody that may not be in our bubble, and then they play, and then guys get positive tests?
Yes.
Now we got to shut the whole league down. We can't play any more games, quarantine everybody. So to lose billions of dollars at the risk of wondering, you understood that, but it wasn't fair on either side, but something had to be done. And it really affected us because we weren't athletic enough without Daniel.
Yes.
And we were already small. And Daniel has really developed into, I think, our second or third best player. And now got to try to get him back in our mix, because anything that happens on a team, the one thing you cannot break on team is confidence. All 12 guys got to believe that y'all riding together. no matter how bad the story is.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody you gotta be, because everybody gets affected in some kind of way. So with whatever it is, I think it'll get resolved. We got to have him back on our team. He's a starter at a reasonable cost.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a chance to continue to build, and we just gotta do. It's just like any other family. If your family's disrupted, things are wrong.
John, I'm glad you said that, and I noticed that you said our team, and your head coach is not there anymore. How does that loom with the assistants now? Because I talked to Sam this morning, and I know that situation out there in with Doc, but with your coach leaving, how does that affect you, and how does it affect the rest of the coaching staff? Because what I love about you said we. So you seem like you still a part of this organization. So I had to ask that question when you kept saying we.
Well, I'm a 40-year Rocky. I'll eventually leave one day. I'm still here. I'm under contract still. I'm one of the only coaches left. So in the summer, pretty much, I did a lot of the player development. So I pretty much run the day-to-day things from a coaching standpoint in the summer with our younger players and the guys there. So I do a lot of that. And then, we got a coaching search going on now. So I'm a part of that. So we'll just see what happens there. But for right now, we have, I think, one of the best offensive players in the game in James Harden, and his defense has really proved. Russ was never healthy after we stopped playing for him to get a year to get healthy. Eric Gordon is still a top guard, and then Rob Covington, PJ Tucker. We've got a great nucleus. So we still have a 2-year window to be really, really good. So we're all mad and upset.
Yeah.
But we've been in the conference semifinals 3 out of the last 4 years. And we were built to try to beat the Warriors, who got hurt. And now the teams that we had to beat, we didn't have the personnel, let's say, because the personnel was that we didn't know that Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, those guys would get hurt, and that Durant would leave. So now we weren't as built for them as we are now. But I really like what we're doing. And, the center position in basketball, I'm telling guys on the grassroots, nobody in the pros are teaching jump hooks. You got to be able to guard them little guys on the perimeter, and they got everybody playing a little bit. Look at the two teams look at the one team in the finals.
Yeah.
Miami.
Yes.
They're smart. Look at Boston.
Yes.
Look at the Clippers.
Yes.
Look at us. Look at Denver. They had one, but the Lakers have been the only one, and then AD really is a guard. I mean, he was a guard in high school at 6'2", and then he grew. That makes it tough.
Jimmy?
And you mentioned, of course, you're on the staff. I mean, you're signed for 2 year remaining on your contract with the Rockets. Somebody asked the question earlier. We had missed it back to the Daniel House and asked, will Daniel House play next season? And I toss it to you. And a lot of people may not realize that you guys based on the market, Daniel House is still a discount probably to the dollar right now, right?
Well, Daniel and I work every day. Work about an hour a day during the COVID. He really improved his ball handling. He really improved his whole game. He at times may have been our second or third best player. He's under a contract that probably he has 2 more years at somewhere between $3 to $5 million. So I don't know how you get rid of a starter like that without trying to find a way to make it work. Now, just like anything else, we got time heals all wounds. So hopefully we can heal all the wounds that go along with that and mend whatever fences, if there are any fences, to mend to get him back with the guys. And you know how things are whenever you until you get to see everybody and tell your side or whatever, it never gets resolved. And because of the quarantine, nobody ever got to see him again. So I don't foresee that being a major problem for us, because look, these are kids. Financially, I'm gonna trade somebody and give somebody away for them kind of dollars who may be our third best player and still improving and just beginning to hit his prime. I don't think that doesn't sound like good business sense. And if a coach or somebody come here trying to say that, that's hard.
Coach, all people who say that really are those fans. And the fans is a root word for fanatic. And you got to realize too, you just say he's a kid. But what about the other players on the team? They're not that they might not be that mature enough too. So so I mean, he's a kid. Could these other kids understand that a kid makes a mistake? I mean, that's what we got. That's the dynamic y'all gonna be dealing with. Could these other guys? I'm sorry.
You know, it's really funny. Really funny. I was explaining to somebody that if, you know, people say, well, how does that keep you from playing hard? How does that keep you from wanting to compete? And it's real funny. I told them, if somebody in your house, if your mom and dad are fighting, the whole house is upset. People walking in their own rooms and in their own space. I remember the first time I hit John in his chest because he thought he had outgrown me as a dad. And little Jay and my daughter and all of them went to the room and scattered. The house was in disarray because everybody didn't know. Debbie was nervous because are they going to call Child Protective Services on you? What in the world? You know, she looking at the door thinking, what? And until John and I talked the next day, we had a conversation. It got resolved. We haven't had a chance to have a conversation because of the quarantine to find out whatever it is. We don't know what it is.
Right.
It's still a mystery.
Right.
So you know how it is when your kids, your house disrupted. So it does affect the chemistry. It may not, people try to play hard, but it does affect chemistry. And then the other thing is then people start speculating and people are married.
Wow.
People start speculating.
People are mad. There you go.
And people are married, and now all of a sudden, you know, Twitter is undefeated. Twitter and Instagram, it was so-and-so, him, and then people's wives get involved. And then are you down there doing that? And then, you know, now everybody's house disrupted. And now we got to try to figure out how to get everybody's house disrupted because everybody thinks somebody doing something or doing something that ain't that. And I'm telling you guys, you couldn't slip. No, you had to be really, really good to get somebody in there.
Thank you. I told them that, James.
Really good.
Hey, Coach, I told them that. They looking at me like I'm crazy.
Now at our hotel, you know, now I'm sure because of the media and other people and other things, because it's such a big place. But I'm telling you, like I tell the guys on the team all the time, I'm an old dope fiend. My mind worked crazy. I couldn't figure out. Now you got to figure out when somebody's on a dog. If I was going to try to even do that, I got to know what shift they're on, when the shift change, how I get them credentials. Now, you know, it's a whole lot of planning. Well, you know, you two guys have had two phones for a long time. Y'all too old to have two cell phones now, but y'all have had two cell phones for a long time.
Yeah, Coach. But Coach, check this out though, Coach. But you said something, Coach, but what if the person works in there? What if the person has clearance and works in the bubble? It's possible then, Coach.
Highly unlikable, because I tell you, at every stairway, whenever you did something, you know, whenever you did something, they had a band. You had a band. When you click the door, a band.
Okay.
When you talk, and then at Disney, you know, they can tell you charge everything on this band.
On the band, right.
It lets you know when you go in your room, when you go out your room. It's a tracking device.
Well, something had to happen, Coach. They sent him home. Something had to happen. They ain't sending him home for nothing. Did you hear me?
You hear that sound?
Okay. All right. Hey, we're going to take a break. And we'll be right back.
And use the strength of their balance to force the wealthy nations, which are the white nations, into giving more independence to other nations who are still under their jurisdiction. You and I have to look at this and understand this, that the ballot is as powerful as the bullet. Now, if you and I leave it up to the moderate Negro leaders, they'll be able to trick it up and make the world think that they passed something that doesn't really mean anything. So what you and I have got to do is get involved. You and I have to be right there breathing down their throat. Every time they look over their shoulder, we want them to see us. We want to make them pass the strongest civil rights bill they've ever passed. Because we know even after they pass it, they can't enforce it. In order to do this, we're starting a voters registration drive. We have to get everybody in Harlem registered, not as Democrats or Republicans, but registered as independents. We're going to organize a corps of brothers and sisters who, after the city is mapped out, they won't leave one apartment house door not knocked on. There won't be a door in Harlem that will not have been knocked on to see that whatever black face lives behind that door is registered to vote by a certain time this year. Nobody will have an excuse not to be registered. We'll ask him, let us see your card. If you don't have the sense of responsibility to get registered, we'll move you out of town. It's going to be the ballot or the bullet. After we get our people registered.
It's back.
All right, welcome back to the Chop Shop, your midday sports happy hour. We are officially on that back nine. We got our special guest of the day, Coach John Lucas, live with us. In case you're wondering, Astros and Minnesota Twins underway. The bottom of the first inning, and the score is still scoreless in that playoff game of the ALCS. And however, the Twins have a runner on second with one out. Meanwhile, we're talking basketball and life with Coach John Lucas. Speaking of life, real life thing. A lot of people may not know. You're a life coach. You've operated rehab and recovery clinics for decades. And on yesterday, one of the topics that was, I guess, that gained national attention is Delonte West over in Dallas. Whereas Mark Cuban, his former boss for the Dallas Mavericks, when Delonte played for the Mavericks back in 2011, he was a 8-year veteran of the NBA. And that was, how did that explain? Take us there, Coach. I'm talking about Mark Cuban went and picked him up from a gas station.
Delonte was in Houston several years ago at the Jack in the Box. He was here for help. We tried to help him. We've helped him, and the league has helped him several times financially. But at some point, you got to help yourself. And it seems like you can't keep doing the same things over and over again, looking for different results. So now Mark Cuban has thrown him a lifeline and given him help. The league has helped several times. And I recommended that, until I wanted to get help myself and stop, then people had to get out the way. Either let me live or let me die. That's a cold reality. But as long as I had somebody that's going to throw me a lifeline, there's no reason to stop. And so we get healthy, we do this, we help take care of the family, we get back on the feet, and then a year later we do this again. We do this again and again. So at some point, you have to kind of let yourself and let people be willing to do. It's like I said, willing to do whatever it is it takes to stay sober. If I told you to roll that peanut up and down that street because you don't want to drink or get high no more, then do it. If you want to stop. But you got to have it's real easy to understand an addiction. If I can't change my behavior to meet my goals, but I lower my goals to meet my behavior, I got a real problem. Wow. So if I change my goals so I can keep operating like this instead of changing my goals to keep moving forward, then I got a real problem. And I wish the best, but it's only about 1 out of 10 of us who come fully addicted that recover.
1 out of 10?
Yeah. That stay sober. And I've been blessed that I'm on my 35th year. And I tell the guys all the time, because, the league there's a lot of weed smoking in the league because it's legal in a lot of cities and states now. In the state, I tell them, I know me when I see me. You can't fool me about that. And so for me, with the marijuana being from the earth, It ain't addicted. You know, but you smell like weed.
Yeah.
You can't get it off you. Whenever you come, it's very unattractive. You know, you have to wrap your hair up to smoke so it ain't in your hair. That's a whole lot of changes just to smoke.
Yeah.
But you know, it's real funny. Master P taught me a hell of a lot. I used to work him out because he wanted to play in the NBA, right? So Pete, and I saw his documentary. So I said, all right, Pete, we're gonna meet Sunday morning, 8 o'clock. I've said it for years, and he called me and said, Coach, this is Percy. I can't meet you today. I gotta take Romeo and those to church today. And I go, wait a minute, I thought you was down there in the 504 boys, and that ain't really true. He's living in Sugar Land.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we believe when it's popping. And like James and them tell me, no cap, all that. People start believing that them sayings are really like real life.
But they're not.
They're not the real structure of life. You know, those are entertainment. It's amazing how people forget I'm entertainment. You know, there was something that Malcolm X said with these Black Lives Matter that I saw the other day, and it really threw me for a loop. He said, we as Black people are my basketball players, entertainers, rappers. And he said, but white people don't admire those people. They go to see them for entertainment. They aren't role models.
I just played that video, John, before you came on the show. I thank you. And you didn't have no idea. I just played that same video of him saying that. I'm gonna play it again at the break if we have another break. But great, I'm glad you said that. Keep going. Keep going.
And you know, so it's amazing to me that how so important it is. Like now, Nike has this new initiative that's going on for EBYL teams and certain things to be certain teams. You have to be involved in the community. You have to do voter registration. You have to be involved with Historical Black University. There's a lot of initiatives that they have to try to have the betterment of our equal rights of everybody that they're doing. And because of that it gets to be. You know, Bill Cosby used to say he would never own an NBA team because he felt like it was a form of slavery. Because you come watch your product perform and then. So we have to understand that we have to try to obtain wealth. And that's why I tell young players, if you want, it's the difference in being hood famous and real famous. There's a lot of things that go on for young kids in our grassroots basketball. I tell them, how famous you want to be? Are you doing this as a means out or to better your life? Or are you doing this because of the neighborhood or your parents? And I used to tell my boys, George, either you go try to make the McDonald's game, or you gonna go work at McDonald's. So if you're gonna try to make the McDonald's game, I'm here to help you. Because that means a college degree, that means a chance for free education. So I'm willing to pay these dues early, then later. And you know, like Jahari Long, he paid his dues. He got these up at Seton Hall. He played with Cousy Leak. He didn't play on a real. And you know, there's an opportunity if people take advantage. Davion Harden went to Charles. There's a lot of guys that don't play on JL3 Elite or like Hard Works or like the Hoops or the Defenders, some of the teams here, and you can do that and still get a chance to go to school. Don't play basketball and let the air and the leather use you. Use the air and the leather.
Awesome.
And I mean, great nuggets. We're going into the
biggest problem are parents. I think I tweeted something about parents want people to be hood famous and then stop the process so they can tell other people how their kid got good to be all district, all city. It's a big world out there in basketball. The parents are part of the process because what you really want to do is have people imitate your game, because now when people imitate your game, you real good. See, I people say I'm doing the Kobe move, the Kobe series, the LeBron James series, all of those things. So now, yeah, true. Only one or two people get to beat Kobe Bryant and those. But in the meantime, you've raised your level for the next generation of your family to start at that level and keep moving up.
Wow.
See, people got the wrong idea of basketball. See, we taking the operators and we like right now with the COVID, there's a great opportunity for people who are not frontline basketball programs and event things to have events, and they're getting people in. So we still I haven't been to any events because of the COVID. I didn't do any events this year. I mean, I got killed because I didn't do any of my events in the summer. No girls camp, no any of my boys camp, none of the things that did. So it's not kind of like, are you shut down? No. Why would I do something that 205,000 people are been killed? Now I get it, and I had a big argument. Well, I'm tired of reading about other kids who aren't as good as my kid, getting his name on Twitter, getting his. Okay, but when you come back, if your skills have improved, people got a short memory when they see better players.
So John, are you telling me? Are you saying? So it's okay if a parent is not allowing their kid to go to these events, right? If they in the lab working, and by the next time somebody see you and you're good, you okay.
But the trick is people having events, and that's fine, and people are getting offers. They're doing virtual. I've been 40 years. It's hard for me to tell if a guy can play looking at Ball Alert. At Baller TV, it's hard for me to see the screen. It freezes all the time.
Called Baller TV, not Baller Alert. That's that other one. Boy, John. Yeah, keep going though.
But my point is, it's hard for me to see. It freezes. I don't know scores.
Okay.
They don't show me halftime stats. I don't know the name of the players. So I mean, I've got to really be. And people say, well, that's where my coach comes in to make sure everybody knows that and sees that. I'm telling you, when a good restaurant, like when the Turkey Hut opened,
yeah,
ain't nobody had to tell nobody Turkey Hut was good. People found out quick and had lines forever.
That's a good point. Great point.
So what we do is let people scare us, and this is a society now, like with our president and others, that people put fear that you're not gonna get yours, so you panic and end up with nothing.
Preach it, boss. Keep on going. Keep on going.
Hey, I'm liking that. Keep going.
And so now we in grassroots, it's changing again. We got to get smarter with what we're doing. So like now there's everybody jumping schools, going here where they can play in the fall and do it. If you're good, we're hiring because see, nobody realized in 2022, high school players can go right to the pros. My goal would be, let's get good enough to go right to the pros or go to the G League or go to college. Now I got more options. So why would I want to jeopardize that and play more games and not get more skill? So when this skill guy come out, they say, you know what, if he play a few more games, he's going to be really good because his skill set's there.
Wow.
So, people got to look to the future. Like, my JL3, we added Texas Hardworks to our program.
Yes.
And that was because Central Texas has a good environment for basketball to continue to grow. And I wanted to grow basketball in our area and continue to have opportunities for kids. I ain't worried about whether we win Peach Jam or we win that. My job is to get people in school and to help them find a better way to better their skills, because basketball is getting ready to get even more competitive than before. Because the one thing in basketball you'll never see, and a strike is coming. They're going to strike. They got to try to get the money down to get it back, because in the NBA, every year I played, they used to tell me when it was $35,000. I remember when Dr. J signed for $6 million. We go, man, that is just unbelievable. That ain't even the minimum salary today. James makes $49 million next year. Smack yourself. I love $49 million. You know what kind of girlfriends I'd have? With a wife.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm sorry. My wife told me I better be quiet.
Oh, James, hey, John. Speaking, John, answer this for me, John. Because I get pissed off. Everybody know I got this affinity, and I like James Harden. Love his family, love his mom. So I got about 12 texts.
The best offensive player in basketball.
John, I got 12 texts sending me a picture of him in the turkey leg hut when he got back to Houston. And all I said, what the hell you expect for him to do? Not go nowhere?
You know where I was? I was at French's. I was at French's. Man, that food in the bubble was so bad it was unbelievable, man. We had food, no salt, no seasoning. That's one thing we talked about. I mean, the first place I'm going is French's. When I get up out of here, I'm gonna get me some chicken. And you know, it's funny. It's over with now. There's nothing we can do.
Nothing.
And you know, the one thing that we've got to find a better way to do is help James figure out double teams. Because sometimes we let him try to figure it out on his own, and it hurts us. And they don't do it till the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah.
The regular season, we are built for the regular season. We now got to get built for a 7-game series when people see us every day.
That's it.
Thank you,
for
John.
The regular season, and now you got to get built for the playoffs. And we come back. We're on a quick break, and
Jim, I don't want to take no break, Jim. Let's not take no break. Let's go through the stop sign. I got John Lucas on. Hey, I'll pay for this break. John Lucas, let's keep talking to John, man.
Okay, well what we do is we continue the convo and about
Jimmy, right now,
basketball.
Jimmy, do me a favor, Jimmy. Let's talk about what's going. Let's talk about www.coxpradierlawfirm.com. You can call out them at 713-752-2300 or www.bigcityaccidents.com. The Cox Pradier Law Firm. Yes. Now, back to you, Jimmy.
There you go.
Hey, Hatter.
Yeah.
That man will never miss a dollar when it comes time for him to do what he got to do. I know him all his whole life. I've known him when he started playing baseball over there at TSU to how RCS Sports had grown. I never seen him miss an opportunity for a dollar. He's good people. He's done a lot of good stuff.
John, you better watch out. Guess who's on this feed listening to you right now? Jay on this feed listening to you. Jay.
Oh.
Jay Lucas, your son.
You know, that's funny. Jay's moved to Kentucky, right, when he left.
Yeah.
I don't really think he wanted to leave, but when he called and asked me about it, I said, Jay, that's a basketball school.
Right.
That if you want to make yourself and be real famous, if you can make it there, then you could. If you can always come back, you know, now you're out of your region. If you can recruit nationally, you did a good job in Texas recruiting. And I said, the biggest enemy you got in Texas was that everybody thought I was helping you. So I wasn't helping you. You did your own work. You built your own relationships. And I didn't have anything to do with it. So his success, I think, will help him even more being up there. And it was a thing that Cal and those reached out to him. And then so he asked me about it because everybody was calling me, talking about he may not be on the road. I said, look, he's already been on the road.
Yeah.
He's done that piece.
Yeah.
Now he can now go learn from John McClendon or somebody who I would want to be. That's my hero, who I want to be remembered as, is somebody like Johnny McClendon, who now has the McClendon Initiative, who helped basketball in all areas. So for him, I thought it was a great opportunity and a great move for him. Only thing is, that's where he was going to go to school 11 years ago when he came out and ended up going to Florida. So they remember
that's right. He told that story.
He was doing that, and then so Jay has an even keel about him that I think people like. I mean, as I go through the basketball now, I'm straightforward. Jay knows how to say the same thing in a different kind of way. I mean, I'm gonna be correct with the real truth, and he knows how to kind of, because these kids today, not it's like now I argue with our guys. We got to get in shape. We're not in mechanical shape. Everybody got all these things on them and they're low. I played 3 games in a row. You got to get in shape. You cannot develop mental toughness without putting yourself through something mentally. How if I don't send you through some stress to make you see how you handle stress, how will you handle stress when you get under? Fatigue makes cowards of us all, they say. So we got to learn. But now in life, I don't want to rob him of his experiences.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to learn them lessons so he can pass those on to his kids. But you don't ever rob anybody of experiences that they need to go through. Because Richard Pryor used to say, you don't get old being no fool.
That's right. That's right. And John, and that's key. You know what I love about it, John? When I look at the tenacity in business that my son has. I mean, he got the same. I remember how hard you used to be on him when he was a young kid. How hard you were on my son, just like you was on.
You remember how you used to get mad at me because he threw them damn goggles on? I said, man, take them damn Urkel goggles off. You was hot with me. Said somebody got to help him push himself through. Left-handed, could put it on the floor, went anywhere he wanted to go with the ball, and did a really, really good job. And the one thing about a parent, nothing pains a parent more than seeing their kid fail. Nothing gives a parent more success than seeing their kid succeed.
Yeah.
So a parent is sometimes the worst. Like, like now, it's a big thing now about parents. Like I'm in big fights now about parents with coaching teams with their kids on the team.
Okay. Daddy ball.
People don't, they call it that. They don't think people can be fair because their son is on the team.
Okay.
No matter how long you've been doing it, people say, well, they're not going to be, and that your scrutiny is so hard. That's almost like John with me. I can't hire John at the Rockets because they say, what's it called?
Nepotism.
Nepotism. But he's the best for the job.
Yes.
But right now, I can't do it now. So now it come down to either John or me. His ass got to go. I'm still working right now.
Right.
Still working. So, that's a big thing. But the good part is people who coach make sure they know the trade so they can get a career. Not 6 months summer league ball. Not from March. Not from I was doing the schedule. Not from the icebreaker to Peach Jam. That's a small window. But teach them do that so they can go from 20 to 60 learning the trade. Not a game, but a trade.
Wow.
Because how many trainers out here now? If you look on video, everybody teaching basketball. Right. And guess what? There's some bad people out there teaching basketball that's a detriment to the game. But they think they know because you don't have to have certified training to be a coach or be a trainer. So I always ask about it. If you had heart surgery, the morning, do you want the guy that's got 40 years or the guy that's been doing it 6 weeks?
The guy that's 40 years.
Okay, so why don't you look at basketball like that?
Yeah.
You know the answer to that? Because my kid gets all the attention with the young kid. I don't like for you talk. See, most parents like fight with me because they think I'm talking to you like you used to think I was talking to you.
Yeah.
I was talking to your son's basketball character. And when I'm coaching, it's my coaching character talking to Lil Hatter's basketball character. Yeah. I love how as soon as it's over, I'm hugging him. He's going like that. Man, you just gonna cuss me the fuck out, and now you gonna hug me?
Oh look. Yeah, no. And for his birthday and for his graduation, you come give him some money. So he understands. But John, let me tell you something.
Don't be telling everybody. I ain't getting
No,
all these kids.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But everybody ain't like everybody ain't like that. Hold up. So John, let me tell you something. When I'm watching him making his moves, I watch him talk to young kids. I used to think he wasn't listening to you and I. But those same stuff that you used to tell him, the same stuff that I used to tell him, he telling it to the next generation. And I used to think he wasn't listening.
That's the greatest. People ask me about coaching. What's the greatest compliment? Is to hear one of your kids repeat something you said. It is the greatest satisfaction you can ever get. I repeat stuff, Jimmy, just like you learn from everybody.
Right.
Like if Jimmy set up some cones in there, I ain't listening. But Jimmy, but if he's gonna talk about rating the player, I'm listening. Jimmy told me something a couple of times, and he don't think I remember. I use it all the time. He had a three-legged dog named Lucky.
Okay.
Dog's gonna be lucky with 3 legs. I tell it, man, the players just go crazy when I tell that story. And he got hit by a car. But people don't know what impact that you have until you hear. And that's the gift of coaching, to see them teach things right. No, that's the wrong pivot for it. That's the beauty of this.
Right.
It's because you take it with you.
Right.
It's one last thing I want to talk about before I let y'all go is this COVID.
Okay.
My dad, 99, broke his hip. Uh-huh. I haven't been able to see him because
COVID.
The North Carolina, and you can't visit him at the nursing home because they won't let you in. Mm-hmm. So he lost human contact for like 5 months, and his decline was unbelievable. If you can be available for your kids or for teammates or players, you don't know what human contact does to keep people going. Now I FaceTime with him every day. He's doing his rehab, but if you give up if you don't get with it.
That's right. That's right.
And so, everything goes back to basketball and your grassroots that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I mean, basketball is about you're as strong as your weakest link.
Okay.
And basketball is as much chemistry as it is putting the ball in the basket. Like for me, it's 4 things. A coach is a daddy.
Okay.
He got to be a mentor. He got to be a counselor. He's got to be an educator and a confronter. Now, the mentorship is sharing your own experience. You don't tell them about other things. Like I don't tell the guys on the team, plant your flowers and you water your flowers and your flowers will grow. I don't tell them shit like that. You have to find things they can relate to.
Right.
So like, say something like that, James will go to me, man, no cap. He say something like that, they don't want to hear that. So, you have to talk about mentorship, about life. They love your life stories because you're getting a part of you. The counseling is, I don't have nothing I can't say to you, I won't say to him about me. You can't pick about, do I dye my mustache? Absolutely. All my flaws I won't tell you about. So so for that counselor, don't be afraid to tell me the truth. I can handle the truth. Third thing is I'm gonna teach you how to play. If you'll let me teach you about life as a father, you're gonna teach her. And nothing better than telling your son, like when he get in his first fight and he took up for himself, you're mad at him. No, don't do that. You go to the school and you go, don't do that. Come here. And then you walk out the door and say, did you win? You won't know how he did, but don't do that. But you want to be teaching to still grow up. And then the last thing, when he's wrong, confront him. Don't co-sign nothing that ain't right. But how do I confront you to make you want to do better? Positive confrontation. And then know how they learn. Visual learner, auditory learner, because you can't teach somebody something if you don't know how to learn. That takes time, being around, developing, and doing. Coaches are all. It's like a parent. It's an all-day job. You can't spend an hour and think the guys will run through a wall with you. You got to spend more time. You got to show up at events for them. You got to be a part.
I got something for you, John, before you go. Couple of things. First of all, head coaching opportunities. Because the people want to know, would you accept a head coaching opportunity right now? If somebody was to come to you and say, man, hey, I need you, would you?
I had a chance for an interview. I turned it down. I'm going to be on an interview and a short list on an interview process for a job opening now. So I would like to coach maybe 1 or 2 more years. It would be a full circle for me. I coach every day. I can't tell y'all where or when, but I did have a couple of opportunities, and I have an opportunity now that's there, and I'll just have to see what happens.
Thanks,
but
Debbie.
For me,
thanks, Debbie, for telling you to get that. Tell Debbie I said thank you, because I was about to tell you, but keep going.
That was my daughter, Tabby.
Okay.
So she enjoys the chop shop. So to talk about that is I screwed up here.
Okay.
In '86 when we went to the finals.
Okay.
And I was here in '76 when we went to the conference finals. And in '86 I screwed up, and then I wasn't here in '93 and '95. I retired when they won.
Right.
So for me, I bleed Rocket Red.
Right.
So
okay.
There's a lot of hard opportunities for me. And then here on our team, I've developed all of them here. I've been with them every day the last 4 years. I think I have a pretty good understanding of what we do and what we need and what needs to be. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. We would love to see you here. What were you about to say? All of us in the Boom Boom Room would love to see you here. With the Houston Rockets. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. My thing is, I mean, for years, a lot of people that are young coming through, there's a connection, a Hall of Fame connection that was at the cusp of each of the 3 head coaching jobs in the NBA that you had. San Antonio, Philadelphia, Cleveland. A lot of people have probably allowed themselves to permanently forget that you were a head coach in the NBA at the cusp of this new of a prime that was generation ago.
I had to tell the guys in the bubble to shut up about Steve Nash, because my first coaching job with the Spurs, I hadn't coached. I took over for Jerry Tarkanian 10 games into the season, and we won 27 out of 28. I was first.
Who was on your team, Coach? Who was on your team?
Huh?
When you got that team, who was on your team?
David Robinson, Sean Elliott, Larry Smith, Antoine Carr, Dale Ellis, Avery Johnson. And the mistake I made was we lost to Phoenix, and Phoenix went on to the finals. And Kevin Johnson shot 57 free throws, and Avery shot 6. And I raised Avery, and I let them talk me out of what I knew was time tested. And we brought in the Gail Knight, and we lost the first round the next year to Utah. And then Popovich came.
What you mean was time tested? What do you mean by that? What was time tested?
Avery was my rookie in Seattle. He and Ricky Winslow. I raised them and made me go against my traditional values of knowing that boy and his character for all them years, because they tricked me with 6 free throws versus, and I didn't depend on Avery. I depended on Avery for leadership. And lo and behold, 2 years later, they win the title, and Avery hits the shot
to win the game
in New York to win it. So I let somebody take, I was arguing with one of our players because he said, I don't know if I can trust the girl. I said, she been here through this. She been here through that. She been here through this. What more? Well, suppose I ain't had no money, but you do have money. But she seemed to still be here. So what more does she have to prove to you? Her loyalty. If she hadn't proved you, then like if you don't know me by now, you know, that's an old school song. That's Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Jimmy. You don't know nothing about that. But if you don't know me by now, you'll never get to know me.
Well, John.
You see what I'm saying? I let them talk, but wait a minute. Then I went on to become the first vice president, general manager of the Sixers. And there's only two of us. That was me and Pat Riley. And I made a bad coaching. I took two teams selling their teams. They were trying to sell the team. The Sixers were trying to sell the team. I took the job. You don't get those jobs every time. So do I let Jimmy get this money? Or do I take it? So I take it. Then Cleveland came. They were trying to get LeBron.
Yep, I
But
remember.
do I take a year deal for this? Or do I wait at the numbers? My family needs to eat. I need to try to accumulate some kind of wealth, so it hurts your coaching record a little bit. But I did. I was the fastest coach to 100 wins for the longest time. So my point is, if you got talent, you're gonna win.
But Coach, you shut down my argument because I was about to side with you guys in the bubble about Steve Nash, because what I was saying about Steve Nash, the team that he got Kevin Durant and Kyrie. He got a team that he can win with. That's what I was concerned about. This but you just shut it down.
No. Stephen A. Smith came on Black Lives, the Social Times and that. So Steve Nash got to go back and learn how to be a coach, and he's been a 2-time MVP. He called his own plays. Okay. Kevin Durant and Kyrie gonna have to listen. The part that makes you mad, and you always get mad, is that now they're gonna hopefully hold on to Jacques Vaughn to help him come along, who had done a good job as the coach. But I'm in the business of selling tickets. I'm in the business of doing, that's a new name, not a retread name of old coaches. And you can't really argue with the name, because who would be better to teach a point guard how to play than Steve Nash teaching Kyrie Irving? You see my point? But now he may not spend all of that time. But my point was, you can't. Jason Kidd got his job like that. So a couple other people got first time.
But they didn't have. But John, unlike you and Steve Nash, y'all had talent. Y'all got transitional. I mean, a transformative talent on your team. You had David Robinson. So that argument was good, because I thought you didn't have a good team. Steve Nash got a great team. He didn't go get he didn't go to Indiana. Why did Indiana hire him?
Well, Indiana didn't have the foresight. He wouldn't have taken Indiana. You think, look, let me tell you something.
Tell me. Talk to me.
I love coaching. Hey, look, I was a general manager sweeping the floor for your son.
Right.
So I love coaching. I love coaching. There's some people who have a profession.
John, stop, John. Because John, that might have went over their head. You usually actually be in there sweeping the floor off before the guys play. A lot of people don't know that. That probably went over people's head.
I was the coach of the Cavaliers.
Yes.
And I'm sweeping the floor off for Hatter, Little Amory.
Yes.
You little guys run around in your Winslow, Justin Jackson.
Yes.
But I love coaching. I don't care who it is. I ain't got to have a great time. I just love being around people and coaching. Right. Some people are career coaches. They're not going to take a bad job. They're not going to hurt their record to do that. I just want. So what do you want me to do? Wait on the Lakers? I'm not going to get the Lakers unless I stumble into the Lakers.
Right. Right.
And like Doc got fired yesterday. He doesn't get let go if Paul George and Kawhi want him there.
Thank you.
Something happened. They were one of the teams wanted out that bubble.
I got a question on that. Do you think that, based on the timing, one is twofold. One thing, the Clippers lost to Denver, right, after squandering a 3-1 lead, right? Second thing, Denver turn around and get pummeled by the Lakers. Do you think that the way that the Lakers beat Denver had a magnifying effect on the misery of the Clippers? Meaning that if Denver would have beat the Lakers, then misery loves company.
Our coach left. They basically beat us 4-1. Denver got 4-1, and Denver beat the Clippers. Their coach left. And, you know, when you're up 3-1 a couple of series, they were up 3-1 on the Rockets, and the Rockets came back and beat them. You're up 2-0, and it's tough to overcome that. Plus, let me tell y'all something. The lifespan of a coach is 3 to 4 years in a city. One, the fans get tired of seeing that style of play. Secondly, the players get tired of that same voice. It's a short lifespan if you're not winning at a clip to win, or especially you're in a major market. Nobody keeps the coach. It's like going to see tennis. When you see that person play so much, you know how they play. So you won't see something different. So when you see something different, oh man, and then 2 weeks later, people are tired of them. Every coach, when they get a new job, they got a year. Then after that, the scrutiny changes because they look at what you're doing. So your style of play, what you're doing, and you're like James. People in the city forget that they're watching greatness. And James has improved his game, but we don't have anybody that scored this clip. This man could have been MVP 4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
Think about what he's doing now.
Yeah.
And then Russ, we bring Russ in, and Russ was having a heck of a year. So we're watching, and then whether, what we decided with small ball or what we did, but James sometimes gets overshadowed. And he and I were on the bus one day and talk about Giannis and why is that. James, when the bar for you is up here, you can't keep matching the bar. The bar for him is they see that and they won. You win 55 games each year. So unless you're going to win 65 or 70, they don't think you improved. That's why it's so important for, I'm not going to call a name, how you play locally in AAU basketball too. If you've seen so much, people scrutinize what you can't do rather than scrutinizing what you can do. So you start getting judged on your negatives rather than your positives. So now sometimes you need to hold people out. So because all y'all gonna do is look at what he can't do. And then they sit there and they grow their hair 9 feet tall, like to make you think they're grown 7 inches. They still the same height. They're doing all crazy things because when you see them so much, you stop saying what they can do and instead of what they can't do. I have a guy in our program. He was like a legend in at a young age with his ball handling. He stopped growing, and now they wonder why we don't talk about him as much anymore. It's because he's like fine wine. He's gotten better, but everybody else ain't got bigger. And Jimmy, in rankings, they always rank bigger kids.
Right.
Once early age, and then as they get older, they rank the kids ahead of them because they get bigger.
Man, you unbelievable, man. But
what's your thoughts on playing up?
Hold on, Jimmy, hold on. I got to get him here because we was talking about college coach, about Doc, and about Doc. Hold on one second. Coach, only thing I like, what I thought about, how in the hell could they fire Doc Rivers? That's how I thought, because I know Doc. I know what he stand for because of being around. And hold up, this is what it came to, John. They allowed your boss, your coach, I know he had no deal. They allowed him to walk away. They allowed Billy Donovan to say, okay, I'm walking away. Why couldn't Steve Ballmer give Doc that same satisfaction instead of firing me? I'm walking. Is it because he had the 2 years left on his deal or not? But he still could have gave him the satisfaction of saying, okay, this won't work. Even though you do owe me, this not working. Let's agree.
Doc and I are a lot alike. I think Doc would have said to them, look, I built this. We didn't have a whole lot when we were here. I have 2 more years on that. I can't believe that you're going to fire me because of what you basically think with this. So now, Mike didn't have any more time on his contract. He decided to leave.
Okay.
So there's no choice there.
Okay.
Billy Donovan's contract expired.
Yeah.
He had no. Okay. Doc has 2 more years at about $11 or $12 million that are coming for him. Uh-huh. I don't think Doc really wants to leave at his age. He's going to go into TV if he wants to this year and announce, and he's very good at that. And I don't think he really wants to leave LA. So, it may be a time for him. But for him, he had 2 more years, and I think that for him, you either side, something happened to make that have to happen.
Okay.
Whatever that
I
is, something.
understand that, John. But my thing,
But he didn't. It's like you can walk away and give back $24 million, or you fired him.
no. I ain't saying walk away. I ain't said walk away. But I'm just saying they could have came to agreement. I just didn't like the way, and maybe it's just me because I know Doc. I'm a little sensitive about it.
But I don't think they fired Doc. I think they mutually agreed to part ways.
What? But guess
But
what?
it doesn't read that way.
That ain't what is written.
Yeah, I know it doesn't read, but whatever is written. Does that sell newspaper? Does that sell newspaper?
I understand because I know it was a mutual agreement. I'm really talking about how they printed. So Jimmy and everybody, somebody text me and Jimmy on a group text. Man, they fired Doc. They fired Doc. That's the perception of the general public.
Yeah, well, people don't, it's like when you get divorced. People don't like me and my wife agreed to just separate. They say, I'm getting a divorce. That sounds better. The truth travels really slowly.
Okay.
And it'll all come out. But a lie run like a rabbit, man.
Come on, Jimmy. I say, John, watch the show tomorrow.
Jimmy wanted to know about playing up.
Okay.
Jimmy, I am not, this is going to bother Hatter. I am not a component of playing up. Let me tell you why. Because when I play up and I get beat, then I'm playing up. If I play my age group, I got to compete every time I go out there. The idea is, who won Peach Jam 3 years ago? You know?
Nope.
Who won the Under Armour main event? Coaches don't stay to see the championship game. People come to watch talent, and they come to recruit kids. They don't come to see, oh man, that's great. I'm here to watch the play calling of JL3 in the final game because I like what the FedEx coach is doing in offense, and I'm a college. They don't stay for that. So when kids can play up, they play up, so they wait 2 years. Now, the way to get kids off of other teams is to say, I want you to play up and play 17s, and then they can hold on to you. Where if you stay where you are, then your ranking gets that. Now in AAU, you got people who ranking people that travel with the team, and they got a ranking service, and all the rankings now. Jimmy, that's something you got to get cleaned up in the ranking business. You can't have people everybody ranking people.
Well, how can Jimmy stop people from ranking people? He would rather, listen to me. I'm speaking for him. He would rather all of them go and jump in the lake. But how can he stop them, John?
No, you can't stop them. But now everybody's found a way to want to help kids and help people. And like in Houston now, we've got so many teams. We're so diluted, and we're all everybody's kind of jockeying for what. I always ask, what are you jockeying? This is my business. I'm not after anything from any kid. I'm not. My kids along. I just want to help basketball. Here's my goal. Okay. Before I die, I want the best player in the NBA to come out of the city of Houston, Texas.
Yes, you said that.
I want to have a part in developing the best player in the whole NBA, LeBron James, that has come out of the city of Houston, went through our public schools or went through our school system, went on, could go to U of H, but he's from Houston, Texas. We haven't had that guy. We've been close. Rashard Lewis, really good. We've been close. We've had some really good players. Justin Jackson. We've had pros, Booby Gibson. We've had pros and people. Lil John had a cup of coffee in and out. We've had Isaiah Taylor, Frazier, Tim Frazier. We've had pros, but I mean somebody that when they show the NBA, boom, it's their face.
Gotcha.
They got. And I don't know that we work in unison to get that guy.
But John, everybody don't think like that. Don't think like you. Everybody got their own agenda. So everybody they want to tear that kid down. This kid ain't good enough. If I didn't, like you say, all these rankers, I didn't anoint that kid. So it's not on me. I don't have anything to do with that kid. That's the problem. You said, man, Houston, we got to do a better job. We got to do a better job of cultivating our great talent. You came on this show and said it. But John, maybe now it's time, you've said it, now it's time for you to give practical steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. How can we do that?
Well,
How can we do it?
I started JL3, and I now have Delilah's group, and then there's Clyde Jackson, who has a group over there, DYOA, and we've got to find somebody out that mix of our grassroots that really gets developed and really hones in on their talent to base a solid foundation. When you start losing your base, you have to go back and start over. And we've had to start over at the grassroots level, meaning 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, fundamentally be taught, play, and have them develop and stay in a basketball culture for a whole time. The virus, I got in a ton of arguments with parents because the virus, I told them we didn't play this year. And so some of the kids played with other teams. I was fine with that. You know, you could play with, and then it got to be where it was just so much. But if you're honing your skills, you're getting better. But everybody wants instant gratification. Like LeBron James. I mean, it's only 3 or 4 times I come up out my seat sitting there watching basketball. He had a dunk against us at 17 years in the league. That I mean, and then he just tracked all of Russ's layups and blocked shots.
God.
And I mean, one play I put on the video for the guys to see it. This 17th year, he ran like a defense, like a end, and outran everybody to dunk the ball. And I'm going, this is in year 17, guys. But he invests $1 million in his body every year. On all that, he invests $1 million in his body every year. He is not the same speed, not the same other things he got. Brother,
you got the same heart, coach.
And I'm gonna tell you, I remember his one play when Russ was bullying
Rondo.
Yeah. He's talking about he's too small. And they were arguing over that. LeBron moved Rondo, put him over there, and all laughing stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then I like him because, you know, he still owe me $250,000 because I got suspended for him. But he always comes over there. He don't talk to a lot of people. He come to me and always come, hey, OG, just want to give you your respect. He's a great student of the game, and people, you know, he hadn't shut up and dribbled. You know why? He's good enough to be imitated so other people listen. That ain't hood famous. That's world famous.
So, Coach, speaking of the Lakers, and you mentioned about a player that's on the rise from Houston, Jimmy Butler, with the Heat. What do you think about this series, and what are your thoughts on Jimmy Butler and what he's done?
Don't forget about Alex Caruso.
And Caruso is, of course, with the Lakers, yes, from College Station.
Jimmy Butler was really missed on. John Uri called it early. A lot of people passed on Jimmy Butler. We really tried to get him to come here. He didn't. He signed with Miami.
Y'all tried.
He made a difference. People thought he was a team wrecker and all of that in Philly. He's not. He's one of the quality players. It's going to be an interesting series because Bam, out of bottom, matches up with Anthony Davis. He's as athletic, not big, he's athletic. And Jimmy Butler's going to be able to, we'll see if Jimmy Butler is for real because he's going to have to guard the king.
That man called that man the king.
Now, of course, Coach, we definitely, man, you dropping nuggets all the time when you come on the Chop Shop.
Wait, how are you laughing? Like I said something that ain't
true. Coach, I don't call him king.
Roy Rogers calls me. He's another coach in the league.
Yeah.
And I text Roy after he finished Denver off in the second, and I said, "Hello, Roy, the king." Roy sent back 6 titles by MJ.
Right.
I sent back 9 out of 10 finals.
Uh-huh. Yeah. MJ didn't do that.
I know it. Let's calm down.
Hey, man, let's leave that alone. But you know what, though? Hey.
Coach, how good do you think the Lakers going to be next year with DeMarcus Cousins back?
He won't be there.
He might, I was about to tell you that, Jimmy.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
He ain't going to be there.
I don't think with the way the league is changing. See, how much did you see Dwight Howard against us?
He DNP'd the last couple of games.
How much did you see Dwight Howard against us?
0.
I'm saying DNP, but he played 30-some minutes the other night.
But yeah, because they had a center. Most teams aren't playing with centers, Jimmy. Most people say, see, Jimmy, there you go. There you go, Jimmy. Right when I'm about ready to give you some credit, there you go, you sleeping. You need to stay in that game the whole damn time. I keep telling you.
Now, I'm
you about to cuss me. You about to cuss me. Don't cuss me.
Said that DeMarcus Cousins won't be there. And I'm just thinking, what's the alternative? But understand, nobody's going to give him a multi-year deal coming off that injury at his age. No. So now he took a gamble 2 years in a row and took a minimum.
That window was gone. Jimmy, that window was gone.
That window's gone. We're going to have to take a gamble again. I love DeMarcus. He has a lot of talent, a lot of things. But the game is about speed and changing and threes and
John, did you just say?
Even the Lakers with their size, they're not posting up. That guy's coming off a down screen big turn. He plays like a guard. Man, Anthony Davis is like a guard.
And John, didn't you just say a minute ago, you got to be able to, they might pull DeMarcus because he had to be able to guard one of them little guards.
Can you see DeMarcus Cousins guarding Russ?
Not happening.
You see him guarding James?
Wow.
You see him guarding Devin Booker?
I got my eyes on that in a few months now. We're not talking about a year later.
You said the Lakers. He may be with a team, but he won't be with the Lakers.
No, I'm talking about the Lakers.
Okay.
You got JaVale McGee. If they win it, Jimmy, why do you disrupt the chemistry? Yeah. And you got JaVale McGee. You got Anthony Davis, who had to move to the 5. He didn't want to play 5.
And Dwight.
And Dwight, who's been very effective when he played.
Where you gonna play?
But in our series, Dave was over there with me and you.
Well, I think JaVale McGee didn't they give him didn't he take a minimum as well to come to the Lakers?
Yeah, but why break that up though?
JaVale McGee might think JaVale McGee might think with his athleticism, he might can go and get him a something more than a minimum. Somebody give him a
let me share something with you. And I really gotta go. I got a lunch with a person. I gotta share something with you.
Okay.
Michael Jordan made a lot of people look really good. And then went to other teams and weren't very good. Akeem Olajuwon made a lot of people look very good. And they went to other teams and was out the league. The King made a lot of people look good because you got to lock in on him. And then, it's like I said, man, ain't no way the Lakers can beat us. And we just control LeBron. And then we got all them eyes on LeBron. Then Danny Green hitting shots. Caldwell Pope hitting shots. He don't get them shots if we ain't got to focus on the King. And then they put the King at the 4, the 5, the 1. He rests, and I'm just calling him King because it's King James.
I like that.
And then, but we don't prepare for Giannis like that.
And guess what, Coach? And Coach,
this is what he said about us.
What?
He said they remind me of the old Rams, Air Cordell, and he said that about us.
Did.
He said, let us see if we can figure that out. Next thing they were trapping us, and they looked like they were the Seattle Seahawks.
And John, I know you got to go, man. You're killing me. You make me mad with these meetings. You can't be having no meetings when you're coming on the Chop Shop. Hold up. But John, I got this quick one, John. You can hit it or you can text us. John, I sit there and talk about how valuable that James Harden is, right? How he gets guys wide open shots all the time. Ain't that valuable? Some people don't feel that's valuable. But Jan, I think that's one of the most valuable. You just said the same thing about LeBron. He draws so much attention that the other guys be wide open. Ain't that the mark of a great player?
Well, I'll answer it like this, and then I'll leave it. And PJ gonna be real mad at me.
Okay.
PJ Tucker has been a career backup.
Yes.
Robert Covington, career backup.
Yes, sir.
Eric Gordon, 6-man.
Yes.
Very good 6-man backup. Clint Capella developed.
Yes.
Clint Capella gets an $80 million deal.
Yes.
Tuck starts for us. People are almost about to put him on the defensive team. I tell you, Akeem, great players make other players' value go up. And the trick is to know how much the great player is doing versus how much they've improved. And that's hard. So, like, you know, how is Tuck wide open because they don't think he can shoot, or they locked into James Harden? Kobe Bryant, when they had Pau Gasol and he went other places, he wants the same Pau Gasol. I mean, when you see a great player, Jimmy, it's like a rare bird. When you see great players, man, they come through the door, they make the whole team. But I know Mike was telling us about when LeBron was with the Olympics and Kobe and all them were talking. He said, "Coach, don't worry about it. I got it."
Wow.
He's such a student of the game. You know, he's not talking about it. He's about it, you know. And you got to give LeBron a whole lot of credit. He's been in no trouble, no altercations, no anything for 17, 18 years. And, you know, and you know, it may not be the prettiest, it's with strength, but he's awful good, man.
Yeah.
And James Harden is right there.
Hold up. Thank you. You can get off there now.
Hey, and you guys, you know, when you're running for office, you got to say what the constituents want to hear. That would leave it at that. That was a great convo with John Lucas on the Chop Shop, as always, guys. Once again, we hope that you enjoyed the conversation with Coach John Lucas. So sorry we didn't get to many of your questions on that you guys had for him. We apologize for that. Charge it to our heads, but not our hearts. In response to that, now coming up tomorrow, we have another guy who's very, 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 especially in the greater Houston area, and of course, if you live in Kentucky, you are very fond of this name. And we're gonna take you back to the class of 2001 high school basketball. That was during the resurgence of the state of Texas becoming at the forefront of a new revolution of basketball that turned about when Blackberries and everything else came out. And this was Carlos Hurt. Carlos Hurt, formerly of Elsick High School, who ended up graduating at Louisville Male High School before going on to Louisville, McDonald's All-American. We're talking about basketball royalty from the high amateur sector. He will join us tomorrow with a testimony of sorts of his journey. And we'll go back and you guys make sure you get a lot of your questions ready for Carlos Hurt. We're talking about a bad boy back in the days, man, when he played. If you guys missed that, this guy, understand, we'll save something for tomorrow. But yeah. Carlos Hurt, live on the Chop Shop on Wednesday. And of course, on Thursday, we have Jeffrey Day is coming on Thursday. Yeah. And he has big stuff to tell you guys what he's been going on. And also, he has big announcement that he's making on Thursday as well. As far as the Astros, they're down 1-0 heading into the top of the fourth inning versus the Minnesota Twins. That game is live right now on the ABC network in whatever city you may be. But once again, thanks everybody for tuning in, man. What a great day. Don't forget, go over to the Chop Shop. Go over to rcssports.com and get the updated schedule for this Super 16 extravaganza. That's the fall high school championships, which will take place this weekend in Houston at the gym. All of the info, the schedule is posted. Of course, you'll see a couple of updates or send our condolences. Our sympathy out to Crosby ISD. The news is expected to break later on this evening. We'll break it on the Chop Shop. Crosby High School is expected to shut down for the next 3 days after a series of positive COVID tests. and that's basically a preventive maintenance. When they reach a certain number, a lot of school districts have this in place. Then you want to shut down so they can sanitize the building and whatnot for about a couple of days. The football game against Manville is still scheduled to take place this weekend. However, the basketball team, because of the fact that just out of preventive maintenance, they will not be participating in the Super 16 this weekend. We've already replaced them with Houston Memorial High School in this schedule. Also, Hightower High School will not be playing Duncanville. Shadow Creek will play Duncanville on Sunday. So, one thing about it, and Hightower still, we'll know they still may play one game. We'll decide, waiting on Coach Woods. They have the option to play another game later on, but Hightower won't, due to the fact that they could not confirm their team to be playing. And that's one of the things I explained to you guys. That way, you heard me say it, now you see me doing it. If you ain't coming full throttle, then I don't need you playing. And not in the Super 16. You play somewhere else with that. I'm not going to also play with you guys money for having you guys come up to the door thinking that you got a certain person playing and they're not going to be there. I don't play those games like that. So now you see it. I could have easily left them on the schedule and waited till you guys come on Sunday and say, oops, oopsie. By the way, I got that bread. I'm sorry. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. No, I changed the schedule, and Shadow Creek, which is very good on paper, they're going to still play their pool games, but they will not play in bracket play. So in exchange, they have accepted the invitation from Duncanville to play them. They just want to represent H-Town. So H-Town will be represented with Shadow Creek, 11:40 against Duncanville. Duncanville will play twice now on Sunday. They will also play Cy Creek High School, and they will also play one game on Saturday evening. Now in the Super 16, that opponent will either be Manville, Concordia Lutheran, or Cy Woods. We will know on Saturday. So Duncanville will play once Saturday evening, twice on Sunday. That's confirmed. You got that on the Chop Shop. I'll give you guys that breaking news. So there you have it. Hey, man, it's time to get up out of here. I got work to do now. Got to go, and it's time to slide on down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing on this Tuesday. A great day, as they would say on the movie on the Black Panther. As they would say on the movie Coming to America. It's a beautiful day in Zamunda. as the character Eddie Murphy didn't play. But on behalf of Robert Hatter, Jim Hicks, guys, make sure you go and you follow us on our social media pages. Or follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that's Chop Shop HTX. Follow us, give us a thumbs up if you're on there right now. Share the show to your timelines, and we'll see you guys in 21 hours. Chop Shop, peace, out of here.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter, you are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro, let's get it. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop.